1 week after Destiny released, the first ever raid came out called Vault of Glass. Now we get to discuss those who had their raid careers specialized beneath Venus. And we will do so by bringing in our first specialist guest of the top 100 greatest raiders. It is none other than I'm Brisky. One of my favorite human beings in the world, I'm Brisky. Brisky held 2 world records in Vault of Glass and is a perfect fit in any speedrun team. The unsung hero of the 390 Kingsfall record, he was voted to be in the top 100 raiders and joins us here today. All right, Brisky, tell us the story of how you got into VoG, how you got into these record teams, and kind of how we got to being eligible to making the top 100 greatest raiders of all time.
I just really like VoG. I do it a lot. I'm good at it. In the summer of 2019, 2020, I can't remember. Honestly, couldn't tell you. I was playing with some people who were, into the speedrunning community on Destiny 1, and they knew I played VoG a lot. They knew I played a lot of Warlock and VoG, so they showed me the strats and got into speedrunning VoG in the early days of 2020. Previously, before that, it hadn't been run for a while, so that particular team I joined wanted to be the first one to break the record in a while using new strats. So that's exactly what we went and did. After some runs, and yeah, since then I still just really play a lot of VoG and other raids too, but not so much.
Why bother playing a raid besides VoG? Of course.
True, you're not wrong.
Quick individual thing I want to put on for Brisky is he's been a great friend and great help on the project. Just being able to have a reliable guest that's gonna, show up when you need him has been very valuable, very rare, as a matter of fact. I'm joking, but it's really helpful to have a person who can fill in so many roles within a speedrun because he has so many characters and such great proficiency on them. But it's only he'll gain these abilities through just VoG, really. Like I've seen him, do budgets as a warlock in Wrath, and it's just like he got all of his fundamentals for Wrath that just carry over from his time running and just playing VoGs all the time, and that's been very helpful to do. He's been, a great hunter when we would run our minor category KF with him, and it's again he learned his hunter stuff through getting these Oracle segments down with Golden Gun. It's incredibly impressive where he learned all these things, and then the kind of the player he turned into from it. But I'm very happy to have him here, and very happy he's in the top 100. Ishtar Legacy. Ishtar is quite possibly the most consistent VoG player of all time, including some of the most complex strategies the raid has to offer. He is the inventor of the Maze-Long Hunter Boop, owner of more than 2,000 VoG clears, and is a one-of-a-kind person. He is a top 100 raider of all time.
Yeah, I've played with Ishtar for quite a few of those clears. I mean, known him for quite a long time. Every single VoG he's in, they all know him as the Oracle guy, the VoG guy.
Mm-hmm.
Ishtar Legacy. If you've done a VoG, you've probably played with him. But yeah, done hundreds and hundreds of LFGs in there. He'll load in with a full team of 5 people, and that VoG is guaranteed done. And yeah, over 2,000 VoG clears. There's not really much else to say. He's just really insane at VoG. Anything that you can imagine in a VoG, he's probably done it. If you've ever tried to race him at Gorgons, good luck.
That's not going to work. No, that is not going to work.
Good luck.
One
Even
thing
to you
he
Titans
said,
out there, he'll smoke you on his hunter.
he will torch you because of that hunter boop.
Yeah, there's many LFGs that you'll do where there'll be 6 people going for it, and he'll go 32 for 32 on Oracle kills.
Ishtar, he was a very fucking good Bog player. I mean, like, I would only do LFGs with him, but every time I do an LFG, he pretty much soloed Fog, like, just because he wanted to. Like, even with 6 people there, he would solo Oracles, and, like, if somebody died on Confluxes, or, like, if all of us died on Confluxes, he would fucking solo the whole thing. Like, that guy was just crazy Vog, knew everything about Vog. Um, I mean, yeah, like, I've never seen him do something bad on Vog, for sure.
A 2020s era PlayStation runner, we have Kavik. Kavik set a record in every minute barrier from 2017 to the present day. Creator of the Cav Slide and member of many PlayStation VOG records, Kavik was a member of the most recent 1317 world record, cementing his spot as a unanimous selection to the 100 greatest raiders. Let's talk about Kavik.
Kavik was funny as shit, I'm not gonna lie. Kavik, as a Vog player, I mean, you can really only be so good at Vog, but, I mean...
VOG is rather
Kavik
restricting, yeah.
Yeah. Kavik knew everything about Vog, like, he knew all the rooms, like, I think he had the first minute break, or, like, every minute break since, like, sub 18 or something. I mean, it's kind of hard to do that. He knew a lot of people, very good at Bog. Near the end, he kind of struggled a little bit, but, like, his mentality was alright. I mean, he just, like, in terms of skill, he would just kind of, like, do whatever, and he would pretty much never mess up. I mean, he was good at Cav Slide, hence the name. He was pretty good at transition. I don't remember if he was good at Overwall or not, but...
He didn't need to be. He invented Cav Slide.
Yeah, he was very good at Vog for sure. I mean, a lot of people looked up to him. A lot of people was inspired by him on Vog. He was one of the Vog guys when it came to speedrunning.
Kavik is a fucking special boy. He invented the Cav Slide. That's pretty cool. He is the type of dude who's always down to fucking test some new strats or whatever. He likes to think about that kind of thing. He's funny, quite a silly dude. Like, I don't know. There's not much to say. He was renowned at first for being fast at clicking the A button, and then he came on the console where that's not as easy, and kept doing it, and also was better than most people. That's Kavik.
Kavik is very unique in the sense of, like, he is not tethered to a single era of the game as so many players are, where it's like, yeah, you know, they've been playing the game for 6 years. They started in 2016 and they played until, 2022. But, like, they would peak in a certain era for a certain limited period of time. Like, the first half of 2020, though, they were the best player in the world. And that's when a lot of people would get, most of, if not all of their career accolades, whether that's speedrunning or solos or stuff like that. Kavik doesn't really, like, stick to that norm because he's been on the world's first minute barrier break since the record hit the 16-minute mark, and they skipped 17. 17 has never been, like, 17XX has never been in any percent VOG record. It went 18-0 something to 1629, I believe, or some like crazy number in that range, and then he's just been a part of all of VOG history since that moment happened. And I'm going to say one more thing from the perspective of 2020 Xbox speedrunner. When we would see PlayStation, discover new breach routes that are usable within other raids, mostly VOG and KF, and they would get records that way, we would look at the team that was being formed on PlayStation, and we would think Kavik is, like, without question the best player there. I like, this is something that, you know, Z-Rear has not done, Twoozy has never done, Cruelty never did. Nobody has ever done this. Nobody has ever done what Kavik has done, in the sense of, like, 2020 Kavik to the next best PlayStation player is the largest skill gap between two players that I have ever seen. A handful of people we are going to rapid fire have all held world records in VOG, and in this case multiple VOG categories, and Shinju is a part of this team. Shinju is also a very talented King's Fall player and held multiple VOG records, often as the team's warlock, and the same can be said of our next inductee, O'Kale. One of the all-time best warlocks in the 100 Greatest Raiders, holding a number of VOG records alongside JJR604. JJ was a staple in the Sunbreaker VOGs and was voted in to be a part of this team. I'll start with you on this, Wall.
These are, again, quite fucking old players, been playing as long as I have, basically. And they're just fucking solid LFGs. Kale, I believe, I think Kale, like, was involved in Patrol King's Fall somehow. I don't remember. I don't know. There's not much to say about a lot of these people, because, like, if they didn't have a major contribution or story, because, like, they did their job and they didn't fuck up. Pat on the back. Here you go.
Kale doesn't like me very much, but I mean, I never really played with him because he would always not want to run with me. So he would, like, not run if I was playing, which is kind of unfortunate, but I didn't really dislike him. I mean, I did play with him here and there. He was a pretty good player. I mean, that's really it. Shinju, my first ever time was with Shinju, and it was with me and my brother. And we were doing a 390, and they were like, it was him and somebody else. It was him and Strawberries, I think. I don't remember.
They're the same person. Strawberry is Shinju.
There was somebody else it was Shinju and somebody else that they were, like, best friends with at the time, and pretty much carried me and my brother to, like, a sub 25 390. And I think it's still my 390 time, actually. And they were talking about, like, 4s and 7s and shit, and me and my brother were just like, what the hell are these guys talking about? I mean, yeah, like, Shinju was a very cool guy, knew everything about VOG. I mean, at the time, at least. I mean, he was good enough to carry a full team of LFGs to a sub 25 390. So, I mean, yeah. JJ was probably my first favorite person. That guy, me and him got along very well. He was one of the people that got me into Sunbreaker. Very, very good at VOG. He was pretty good at KF too, I'm not gonna lie, but for VOG, I played with him a little bit, and every single time, he never really messed up. Very good at transition, never really messed up on confluxes, but, I mean, yeah, like, he knew what to do all times.
JJ, having run with him on a couple of Sunbreaker runs that I was a part of, and many hours of dedicated practice to VOG and early 2020 runs that we did, the summer of 2020. JJ, very solid Titan player in VOG. He took more of the more complicated roles in the 2020 runs. Done a lot of budget King's Falls with him as well. He's solid all around, but VOG is definitely his specialty from my hours in many runs playing with him.
One of the best raiders to ever grace the game, Kay Shiflet, is another unanimous addition to the 100 Greatest Raiders. The first instance of a well-rounded player that is so good at one raid, he goes into the top 100 under that raid. holder of 3 active world records, including Vault of Glass, and a sub 58-minute speedrec on both PlayStation and Xbox. No Vault of Glass team with record aspirations is complete without him.
Shiftlet. If there's any turmoil, it's me and him. He taught me a lot about current VOG strats. Donuts taught me probably a lot of the more earlier VOG strats. Shiftlet as a player, very, very respectable VOG player for sure. I don't know, like, he had fastest transition for a very long time. He was, on all of them, Warlock transition, Overwall, normal transition, Cav slide, like, he was crazy at pretty much everything. He soloed 390 up to Gatekeeper flawless, even outside. Like, that guy, if he wanted to do anything on VOG, he could. I know he was trying to find a way to solo Gatekeeper, but I don't think that really went too far. I don't remember if he soloed Atheon or not. He might have.
He did get an Atheon AIT, yeah.
Yeah. That guy was just... He would just solo any VOG encounter that he wanted to. Like, he was bored one day, he would go and solo 390 Confluxes, which is just crazy. Like, anybody that can do that on demand is very respectable. He found a lot of the strats. He found rooms. I don't know, like, without him, I don't think VOG would be where it is today, honestly.
Shiftlet is kind of like the face of speedrunning right now. Not in the sense that he's the best of all time, because he's not. Sorry, Shiftlet, I love you, but you're not. But I think he's the best player who is currently playing the game. And I don't mean when I say that, I don't just mean in VOG. He's probably the best active VOG player, but he's so good at, like, everything that he does. He's a very, very good King's Fall player. He's a very good Crota player. He holds those 2 records currently. He holds fucking 1929 KF on PlayStation and Xbox. He has Age of Triumph, Crota, and he has Vault of Glass record, as well as has held multiple minor categories throughout all of those things. It's just kind of hard to say, like, one thing that he's just good at. I mean, if we want to just go to, narrow it down to just Vault of Glass, it's still, like, just everything he's good at. I've done a couple speedruns with him. At least in Vault of Glass, he's been both an outstanding Titan. He's been an outstanding Warlock. He's the best I've ever seen transitions. He's just so much better than everybody else at VOG currently. A duo we want to introduce, beginning with a little Slothy. Slothy is the owner of the all-time clears title in Vault of Glass, as well as a Hunter Atheon solo. Beginning in the first week of the raid and continuing to this day, Slothy has been tethered to the history of VOG since day one. One of the most underrated and highly skilled VOG players, a little laggy is a raiding legend. Laggy did the world's first solo 390 Confluxes on Warlock and no Relic Templar. Considered a top 3 all-time VOG great and up for the title of greatest VOG player, an easy addition to the top 100. Laggy is just very simply, like, very, very, very good at this game. I haven't played with him as much as I've heard my friends play with him, but it's like, just all the narratives surrounding him are just, for as long as he's been playing the game, he's been one of the top VOG players, because he's just so good at... It's not even just, like, learning stuff, but inventing stuff, and then perfecting, like, all of the fundamentals to Vault of Glass. That's really all I gotta say.
Slothy, I've been playing with him for a long time. In many 390 VOGs, I've shared the experience of playing with probably the drunkest VOG player, for sure.
There's another title he has.
just another one on the board. I don't think anyone has ever played with Slothy not under the influence of some sort of alcohol. I think that's very safe to say.
That's not very safe to say because he has 4,000 VOG clears.
And I feel like he was at least tipsy for every single one of them.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, you'll normally catch him on his Warlock in a VOG. Back when Slothy and Laggy were playing together, you know, you'd have the Hunter Warlock duo. But notably, what I've been seeing here more recently playing with Slothy is constantly on Voidwalker throughout the entirety of VOGs, which is a strat that I have adopted. The Scatternade combo that he he loves so much is very effective.
That's how you do those ability-only conflex challenges. Just so many scatter grenades.
Oh yeah. But honest to God, love that guy. Great player. Do a VOG with him anytime.
Another present-day runner and Inner Circle VOG legend, we have Caddy. A no-doubt addition to this list and multiple-time record holder in Vault of Glass, Caddy most recently held the 13:28 world record, which stands as the fastest time currently on Xbox. One of the most consistent overall and transition runners in the game. Mice, let's go to you.
Caddy, I think he was a budget a long time ago, right? And then like he quit and then came back.
That all happened during my absence in the game.
I think
if he played in 2020, he never played with me. So.
Okay, I think, with my knowledge, I don't know if this is true or not, but I think that he was a budget a long time ago, and then he came back and became like a very good VOG player. Like he was friends with Donuts and Cam and stuff. I mean, he had both Xbox and PlayStation and would just kind of get on whenever there were VOG runs. Very good friends with all the VOG players. Very good at transition. He was very smart when it came to VOG. I would ask him about different things and he would give me an answer like instantly. I mean, yeah. I played with him. I think me and him got the first sub 14, I think. He was there. I don't remember if he was there or not, but me and him kind of like fought over the 6th spot when it came to VOG, and he would pretty much always get it, which is, I mean,
goes to show.
Yeah, like he knew everything when it came to VOG for sure.
An all-time VOG legend, Donuts taste nice. A sub 1 hour speed rank, 4-time VOG record holder, Donuts is a staple in current day Vault of Glass runs as either a Titan or a Warlock. Donuts joined the PlayStation runners to set the current 13:17 world record and is a critical part for all present-day record runs. Donuts has been an awesome friend to me, and that has superseded everything he's done as a player in my eyes, is that he's been an outstanding person, because you know, if you were part of the people that helped on the project, you certainly knew this, but Donuts used to be the secondary host alongside Allenwall. I just talked to him before I had the chance to ask Mice to do this position, and it was like, as soon as school started back up for him, he just didn't really have enough time to finish the recordings, and then Mice swooped in and helped save the day there. But Donuts had so many wonderful things to add about so many different people, because he wasn't the VOG guest. That's always been Brisky, but he was the second desk member I had with me. So he was talking about everybody, and I think he had like the most to add about everybody that he did talk about. He's just an amazing person. I'm so happy that he's been able to help me in the project, even if it isn't as much in the recording booth anymore. You know, he helped, you know, figure out some of the record totals for people. He helped with finding gameplay for certain people. He's helped in every single area that he can, and I'm so thankful for that. So thank you very much, Donuts. But talking about the player of the Donuts, like we said with Shiflet, he's just kind of perfect at everything. Like, he can be on the Vogue record team as a Titan and as a Warlock. I think he currently holds it on Warlock. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he currently holds it on Warlock. And then, like, one record prior, he was running Titan. And he was still, like, one of the best players on the team, like, that throughout that entire time. That's what I mean in the intro segment when I say all-time Vogue legend, Donuts Taste Nice. Like, he's just truly one of the best players. If you wanted to speedrunning Mount Rushmore of Vogue greatness or whatever, Donuts Taste Nice is there, without question.
Donuts is like the quintessential, like, people were debating about, oh my god, who's the best Rust player? Who's the best Vogue player? Like, Donuts was usually the person people considered to be the best at Vogue. He's just fucking quite good at shit.
Donuts was the early Shiflet. Shiflet's the current Donuts. He got me. He thinks that he made me. That's not true, but he did teach me a lot about Vogue. Everything, not everything, but like a lot of the foundation for Vogue, he taught me. He taught me a lot about Vogue Warlock. So much so that when he quit originally, he texted me and he texted like the entire Destiny community pretty much and was like, this guy got a mice, he's gonna be a good player, like I want him to carry on my legacy. And everybody was like,
That sounds just like
Donuts. Yeah, Donuts is tripping, but yeah, Donuts did teach me a lot about current Vogue strats. He came back like right about when I was leaving, and he was just running it up in Vogue. Cool guy.
A Fellwinter member obtaining multiple records in multiple different raids, Lobsta recently held the 1437 Vault of Glass record. At 1 hour and 2 minutes, he is a part of the top 100 raiders of all time. OK Sneak is a current Xbox record holder in Vault of Glass, and an 8-time Vogue record holder overall. Sneak began running in 2020 and continues to the present day as a Sherlock at Titan for the Xbox A team. Sneak was on the Xbox Vogue record for 4 different minute marks and is now a top 100 raider of all time. Lobsta is a person that kind of like, as soon as I left the game and then as soon as I came back to the game, he pretty much fit his entire speedrunning record career in that time span. He did a little bit of stuff before and as I was running, but it was pretty much like everything showed up within that window. So I didn't know a whole lot about him. He was one of the most inaccurate record totals we had at the start of this. So I'm very glad that I've talked with him since, because I have run with him since, and he's super eager to just pick everything up. He wants to learn so much about the game and about different raids, and especially within Vault of Glass, and he's able to like perfect it so fast. It's kind of impressive, like just how easily he got right side part glitch down for KF relics, and how he's gotten some of the new transitions down. Like, it's super impressive to see how fast of a learner he is, and I think that's one of the things that stands out the most about him. And yeah, all around fantastic player.
Lobster, he never really liked me, but he also kind of quit when I started. There was like this little gray area. It was probably like a few months where I would be playing with him for a Vogue, and he was also one of the players that like didn't want to run if I was on the team. So I didn't really play with him that much. But when I did, as a player, he was a very good player. Never really messed up. He was one of those players that like he could do whatever he wanted to. Whenever something was needed, he would jump on it, whatever he needed to do.
So basically, Sneak is like a wandering traveler, in the sense of like he was never constantly getting like the multiple records in a single day kind of stuff. It was always just like he was constantly ready to do, hey, let's play VOG. Ready to do the VOG runs. And never had like the dominant peak that a lot of the other people who have 8+ records in a single raid did. But he was just a very consistent Titan, very much a cornerstone for a lot of the Sunbreaker teams. And then, of course, the current Xbox record came back, saw the new strats, learned the new strats, and said, "All right, let's run VOG record now," and did it. It's pretty impressive. And Lazy. Lazy is an 8-time world record holder, mostly in the low-man VOG categories, and achieved the 1636 6-man Vault of Glass world record. He is a very consistent raider and was a constant in the duo and trio Vault of Glass record runs and is one of the greatest raiders of all time.
I kind of played with him during his LFG era when it came to VOG. He would always run Hunter and would just for Oracles, and he would just solo Oracles. That's really it though. Like I only played with him during LFGs. Like I said, you can really only be so good at VOG, and he would just pretty much carry every LFG he was in.
Lazy. This is gonna date me personally, and anybody who was, by the time this video is gonna release, will have been probably 4 years ago that this clan existed. But if you ever heard of the clan Connecting, it was a connecting ... That was Lazy's clan, and everybody there kind of looked up to them because he was. I don't believe he held VOG record at the time that he probably held one of the minor categories because he ran those so much, but I don't think he ran 6-man that often just because it wasn't that interesting to him. He was just interested in kind of doing all things raiding. So I did a lot of Crota LFGs with him. I did do a lot of VOG with him, and I think VOG is still by far his best raid. But he was just a great guy and such a well-respected runner in early 2020. I remember this was something I did. I believe it was with No Good, Lazy, and Valkyrum one day. It was No Good. He wanted to start a 4-man KF to do a flawless 4-man KF just to see, how easy would it be to do that with just kind of the people in his chat. And he happened to have some pretty good players in the chat there. And I was like, hey, yeah, get me in. That sounds fun. Lazy never messed up once. And I can tell he never messed up once because not only did we do King's Fall, I believe it was our second attempt. I think No Good died the first time. But it was our second attempt. We get King's Fall 4-man. Flawless done. Then we do it in VOG. First attempt. And then we do Wrath. And then we get all the way to Siege Engine on our first attempt. And then we died and we were like, all right, that's enough for today. And then he got off, and he's just such a good Destiny player, period. I'm very happy that he got into the top 100 greatest raiders of all time. Friend of All in Wall and member of Sunbreaker, KCNX is a 100 member. While most known for owning the Vossic solo account, he was a frequent raid record runner and achieved the 1636 Vault of Glass world record. A 1-hour flat speed rank and almost 2,000 career raid clears, we have Illumity. Illumity mostly ran VOG with the PlayStation runners and obtained the 1423 Vault of Glass record. The final person in our VOG specialists, Rules, is a VOG legend. Rules held the 1446 record in Vault of Glass and was the inventor of the overwall strategy players use today. We will have Brisky finish us off.
Casey was on that first VOG team that I was a part of. Really cool guy. Played with him in Crucible and in many different raids. A lot of Wraths with him. As most people who know him will know, he was a huge fan of Wrath.
Yeah, that's something I learned in the process of this was like Casey doesn't like Vogue, but he's really really good at it.
No, he does not. He does not like Vogue, but he's just dude. You know why? It's because like we spent hours and hours doing Sunbreaker runs with Casey in there, holding him hostage.
He wasn't
'Cause
allowed to
back
leave
then
and
when
do
we
his
were running,
axes.
we thought it was all RNG. So we were just sitting in there waiting to get good loads and good Legion spawns. It was horrible, dude. But yeah, a lot of wrath with him. Really cool guy. He's really the glue in a lot of speedrunning teams. Kept people from killing each other.
The only thing I can say about Casey is me and him were known as the Caloric Bros. So really every time I'd see him, he'd be like, "Holy shit, is that my Caloric brother?" And I'd be like, "Yeah."
That's
and we
funny.
would both put it on, and we would run Wrath with like Caloric on, which is pretty cool. But I mean, I didn't really play with him, so I can't really talk on his skill. But whenever I did run like an LFG with him, it was always in Wrath, and I mean, he was pretty good. Rules hated me, and I don't know why. I was always like really nice to him, but
Well, here's your chance to be nice to him.
yeah. Well, I've never talked shit about him. Rule, I'll go to the grave. Rules was a cool fucking guy. He made Overwall. He found Overwall, which is crazy. and,
One of the
like, he
biggest
did a
things
lot
for
of
the
it.
for transition ever.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And when it first was found, like nobody was good at it besides him. He was the first person that was good at it, and he never missed it. Like when Shiflet kind of optimized it a little bit, it made him even better. I mean, even before, because I ran with him on my first couple of our speed runs. Um, he was a cool guy, very good at the game. I mean, the only reason why we would get him is for transition because he would always make it first no matter what. I mean, it was having him on the team was only a time save.
Kale and Rules, I believe, that friend group was very involved in finding both the improved Warlock transition, and I believe they also figured out the slam baiting thing on Templar that makes the ritual happen faster.
Illumity is like kind of a hard person to pin down, you know, what's their lasting legacy within the game because it's kind of like this is going to be kind of like a far-fetched or like a stretch connection. But it's a lot like what we talked about with No Good and Walkus, where he's like the people's champion because he's got 2,000 plus clears or 2,000 something raid clears, all from PlayStation. It's a lot harder to accumulate clears on PlayStation because there's no, you know, modern looking for group function. They've just been doing how it's been done since 2016, where you go to the tower and kind of wait for an invite or start it up. But it's like it's rather limiting, and you just get less runs going. And that's just kind of besides the fact that like yeah, he was a great Vogue player when he got his opportunities, which weren't that many because he would go over to D2 not very long after setting the Vault of Glass world record. I think he's a very deserving player of this. People who touch so many different areas of the game. This community being as small as it is, it's less so now just playing a video game and it's like no, it's even if it's just something small, you are helping out another human being, and that's what Illumity's done.
I like to teach the world to sing with me. Perfect harmony, perfect